Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. A shout out to drone enthusiasts everywhere, and of course a shout out to all my friends at the Drone Seekers. Hey, so the Mavic Mini again today. There's been some controversy about the QuickShot modes on this. Now there have been some people that have, including myself, I did a video where I tried to do some follow me with it. Now understand that this drone does not have a specific follow me function. But when you're in the quick shot modes, because it has to capture you to do those quick shots, it will kind of follow you a little bit. So we're going to explore that a little bit. But I want to reiterate that that is not a design feature built into this drone. We're just going to explore the parameters of it and see what it'll do. People have been pretty critical of the quick shots on this thing because of their limited range and because of their limited functionality. And I kind of have to agree with that. Although the flip side of that coin is that it's also a beginner drone. So beginners, I think what DJI was thinking, they didn't want that drone to get very far away from them. So I'm sure that's why they did those limitations. And the other thing is, if you're experienced with a drone, you can do a lot of those shots manually. But just for the fun of it, let's put this thing up in the air and let's go through them one at a time. So we're going to see also in some of those modes, like the circle mode and the helix mode, etc., if I walk around and move around, if it will follow me and to what extent it can follow you. And like I said, that is not something that was designed into this drone, so it's kind of above and beyond the design parameters. So we're just testing here. We're exploring. I've had people get upset with me when I do that kind of stuff in the past. It's a test. We're seeing what the drone can do. So anyway, let's put the little guy up in the air and let's try out some of those modes, and we'll just fool around with them a little bit and see what we come up with. Okay guys, we're going to do a hand launch here. You know, I've seen people do it different ways. You need to be able to touch the screen with one hand, so I kind of balance it on the RC on my arm, and I hold the drone up and I just hit takeoff. And the drone is up in the air. Alrighty then. Okay, so I always like to start with the manual droning. So let's do a reverse up and away. And you saw a little cross coupling there. Sometimes it can be kind of awkward to adjust the gimbal and hold the flight controls at the same time. Anyway, so that's the kind of droney that you would hope that it would be able to do in the quick shot modes, but unfortunately it can't. So let's bring it back in here. Well, I need to slow down that yaw, guys. I'm going to put it in. That was embarrassing. Oh, I'm in sport mode. God, no wonder. How did I end up in sport mode? There we're in Cinesmooth mode. Okay, I must have hit that by accident. I wondered, I thought, man, that yaw is quick. So I'm going to go back to P mode. That's a little bit slow for what we're doing here. Okay, so let's go into the quick shots. So as you guys know, I guess I should explain it. As you may or may not know, you have to stop recording before you can go into quick shots. So I'm going to turn off recording. And I hit the little film strip at the stop there, hit the quick shot at the bottom, and it takes us into that quick shot menu. This is for people that have not done this before. I want to just kind of explain it. So the droney, one of the complaints is the max you can go is 120 feet. And heck, let's just do a short one. Let's do an 80-foot one, and you'll see how kind of pathetic that is. So you'll see the plus side around me. I tap on that, and it'll draw a box around me, and I simply hit start, and it'll give us a countdown. and it'll go up and away. It'll do the automatic version of what we just did. And you can see it goes pretty slow, and it's not going very far either. As soon as it gets out there 80 feet and it's there, now it stops. Quick shot is complete, and it'll return to where it started from. Now I like that feature. I know some people don't, but I like that feature where it returns to where it started. And I can understand, truthfully, I can understand both versions of that. So that, I mean, that's essentially what you do with the Droney. It's pretty simple. What I'm going to tell you is that's the one that you can easily do manually. So I you know, for new flyers, that's a good way to learn how some of those shots work. But if you're experienced at all, that's a really easy one to do. And I'm not that great of a pilot, but that's one that I can do. And this rocket is kind of the same. Although one of the things I like about it is that it does as a point, it keeps you as a point of interest. And I can't remember here. Let's see how well we set that. Yeah, let's go ahead and go up 120 feet, because 80 feet, that's not very far. So it's the same thing. So we're gonna hit the plus sign, and it draws the box around me. So then I'm the point of interest. Hit start, get that countdown again, and it will go up. And one of the cool things about it that can be a little more difficult to do, and that's it will keep the camera, keep me right in the center of the frame with the camera. So that's, you know, that's a pretty good feature. You'd be trying to do that with the gimbal while you were ascending, and you know, that's on the same side here, so you know, that might be, you know, potentially could be problematic. So it's kind of nice to be able to automate that. The other thing about these automated features that I'll tell you too, all these, if you had some family with you and you were trying to take some of those kind of pictures, it would be fun to be able to show them. And this, it is not returning to its original spot. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay, so we're gonna, I thought it always returned to its original spot here. I was talking to you and I didn't even notice. So we're gonna back it up. I'm telling you, it's done that for me before. We're gonna try that again. So you can see there, we're in close enough, and I'm trying to remember, is it, you have to be, I believe, within 50 feet. I'll have to look that up, but I believe it's within 50 feet for the, it might even be 40 feet. So I'm going to center it on us there, and let's bring it in a little closer. What I'm going to tell you is the closer that you're in, the better these quick shots will work. It's easier for it to find you and easier for it to start. Yeah, so it's kind of looking at my shadow there too. Well, I tell you guys, I was struggling with the camera there. I need to look at my settings. Okay, so I'm going to hit my plus sign, get the thing around me again, and we're going to try that one more time. Like I said, in the past, it's always returned to where it started at. So in fact, let's set it shorter. Let's just go 80 feet, and then let's start. So it gives us the countdown. And that you'll see the circle around the record button. That tells you the percentage, how far into the Droney or the quick shot that it's done. And as soon as that closes that circle, then it's done. And yeah, so now it's returning. I don't know why it didn't return on that last one. I wonder if I might have touched the stick. In fact, I guarantee you that's what happened. The reason that last one, I remember I accidentally hit the stick there, so I guarantee you that's what threw it out of its mode and the reason it didn't return to its original spot. Okay, enough of that blather. Let's go into the circle mode, and this is where it kind of gets interesting. So the circle mode, you literally have to fly out to as far as you want to be, and guys, I'm thinking that it says in the manual it's either 40 or 50 feet. that they recommend on the on these modes. Let's try 50 feet and let's see what it does. So it has not automatically drawn the box around me, so I'm going to do that myself manually here. Yeah, see, and it's not taking it. So I'm going to move it back into 40 feet. So I suspect that it's 40 feet. Yeah, and as soon as we get back into that range, we get the little plus. So that's 44 feet. Let's move in slowly. Yeah, so at 41 feet, well, yeah, I'm trying to hit the plus and it's not taking it. So let's get in under 40 feet. There's 40 feet. There. So at 40 feet, it took it. So I'm telling you, 40 feet is that number. So 3, 2, 1. And it's just going to do a circle around me. And what I've noticed is that it gradually increases speed as it goes around in that circle. So I'm glad we experimented around. 40 feet is the distance, and you'll look at its speed up there, and it'll stop right where it started. So you're going to want the drone within 40 feet of you before you initiate any of those quick shots. And by the way, you'll see the arrows at the bottom here. You can select the direction. So let's go the opposite direction. Let's go counterclockwise. And I gotta hit the plus again, and let's hit start, and it'll go the other way. And this time I'm gonna walk around a little bit and let's see if it'll track us. So this is kind of a controversial feature. That's not what this drone was really designed to do. It's not designed for active track. But it seems to be keeping me, yeah, now there it lost me. And this is one of the things that I was talking about earlier. It's kind of dangerous because it kind of went off on a different vector then. That one wasn't too bad. So let's do that again. And for the sake of newer people, if that happens, if you're in a situation with quick shots and it loses you, and it looks like the drone is going to go into a tree or something like that, I want to show you how to cancel it and get it to hover in place. So we're going to start again here. So the drone is starting up. And I just think, you know, when you get too far away from it is when it loses you. But let's just say that it's lost me and we're worried about, oh, it's going to hit a house. Simply hit that X on the right side of the screen, and you see you get the start button again, and the drone just stops and hovers in place. So that's important to remember if you're a new flyer with quick shots on this drone. You see that drone, even if you just misjudged it and you thought, oh my God, it's doing a circle and it's going to hit a tree or something, just hit that X, the drone will stop and it'll hover in place. So let's go ahead and bring it back here. And I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into the regular modes, going into video here, and we're going to start recording. And I'm going to do just a manual circle. I'm going to just spread the sticks apart. And essentially circle myself. As you can see, I may not be quite as accurate as what the, you know, you got to modulate the sticks, so I'm not as accurate as what the quick shot did. But I did bring the drone back in front of us. So let's bring it back in here and let's do a helix. Remember, we want to be within 40 feet. So I'm glad we tried that. I knew it was, I thought it was 50 or 40. Anyway, So 40 feet seemed to be the magic number for it to acquire the target. Okay, so to go into QuickShots, again, we're going to stop recording. Click on the little film strip there that's right above it. Click on QuickShots. The one at the very bottom is Helix. This is my favorite of all the QuickShots, and this would be the hardest one to do manually. So we're within 40 feet. It's got us. And there again, you can set directions. I'm highlighted. And I can't remember. Hang on, we're going to get out of that for a second here. I want to make sure I set the max distance. So we're going to set 120 feet. We want the big dog there. And so it's still got me. So I think I can just click start. And what it'll do is it will rotate around us. And I can't remember which direction I set. Yeah, so it looks like we're clockwise. And as it rotates, it will move away in distance and raise in altitude. So it kind of creates that corkscrew effect, which can be pretty cool. That's one of my favorites. And yeah, you can see it kind of lost me as the point of interest. So, and the reason it did that is it was far enough away that I just think the AI in this drone, it just doesn't have the horsepower to maintain that. Now, you know, it didn't cause any problems with the drone or anything. And it is returning to its original point, which is good. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to try that again, but I'm going to bring the drone closer to us, and let's see if it keeps us as a point of interest for the whole flight. I think with Helix, you're going to want to start out even closer than that 40 feet. So let's bring it in. And there again, you know, they talk about visual line of sight, and you know, you can see me here. Most of the time I am flying FPV. I'm looking at my controller, even when I'm close in like this. But I know that's the rule. So let's see. So we're 20 feet distant. Let's set the opposite direction, and we're going to highlight these. So I'm highlighted as the point of interest, or the subject, whichever you want to call it. And let's hit start. And let's see if it can stay on us that whole time. So it's holding it pretty good. Yeah, there it lost us. By the time it was out about 70 feet or so. So I don't know. That Helix, you're probably not going to get your best result on that maximum setting. So let's try it at one of the closer in settings and see if it does better, because you want your point of interest to always be in the center of the frame, and it gets out that far enough and it loses it. So I mean, that's kind of a fault in the system, right? If they give you that parameter to choose, it should be able to execute it correctly, and it definitely doesn't. So let's go in here, and we're going to change, instead of 120 feet, well, let's not go 40 feet. Let's do 60 feet. That should be reasonable, I would think. And let's drop the gimbal down here and get in the center. And we're going to go the other way. We're going to go clockwise this time. And start, and we'll get the countdown. And let's see if it can maintain us right at the center as the point of interest. So it looks like it's doing pretty good this time. We're out 40 feet. Remember, I think it was about 70 feet that it lost me that last time. And there again, it's not keeping me in the center. And it got out there to about 78 feet, and it lost the point of interest. So, you know, it works, but I'm going to give that kind of a C grade. I mean, not that it doesn't work, but it's just not as accurate. So any of us that have other DJI drones, or even the Parrot and Offie, there's some other drones, they do these kind of things a little more accurately. So what I'm going to do is bring it in even closer. let's bring it down, and let's bring it in. I think it has to be, oh, it's showing the height at 3 feet because I hand launched it. We're actually higher than that. So that's something that I just thought of. So if you hand launch this, remember that your height is going to be off by a few feet. Just saw that, and it kind of makes sense. Okay, so let's go back in there, and let's just try a 40-footer and see what we can do. And we're closer in this time, and let's see if it will keep me in the center the whole time. Start. So far so good. It's out about 20 feet. So even at that, as you saw, it kind of lost me as the point of interest. You saw that it was a little bit above that. I do like the way it returns to home. So the Helix, while it works, it's not 100% accurate. So I'm just thinking that's something that DJI could probably work on a little bit. So we're down to about 20% battery. Let's bring it in and land it here. Oh yeah, it wants to return to home, so we don't want to do that yet. Let's bring the drone. Let's start recording. Let's bring it in. I am going to try my arch nemesis, a hand landing. Gonna get it in front of the camera here. So I was turning the drone away from me. Let's see if we can see it here yet. You're gonna turn the drone away, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your hand underneath flat. You've seen me grab it before with problems. So if I hold it down and hold your palm flat, it will land. I kind of had a hold of the gimbal there, which it didn't like, but hold it flat and it'll land in your hand. Now, one of the issues that I always have with that is my depth perception is not that great. So I had to get pretty close to it to make sure that my hand was right under it, etc. You guys probably won't have that much trouble. But anyway, we're at low battery. All right, the Mavic Mini, we tried out some of the quick shot modes. We tried out all the quick shot modes, experimented a little bit with movement to see if it would actually follow you. Not really. I mean, it kind of does, but it's very, if the drone gets very far away, it loses you as a point of interest. And then the risk is that the drone can go off on a different vector as it searches for another POI. So you need to be careful with that. And I showed you how to stop in the middle of a quick shot. If you want to, you just hit that X that in the middle of the red circle on the right side of the screen, and the drone will simply hover in place. So that's important. And you could even misjudge a quick shot and you see the drone heading for a tree or something. Just remember, hit that red X and the drone will go into a hover, and you won't have a problem then. The other thing is kind of my favorite one, the Helix, is not entirely accurate. We established that you have to be within 40 feet is the ideal distance to start the quick shots. I knew it said that in the manual. I couldn't remember if it was 50 or 40 feet. In order for the drone, before we got that plus sign that automatically identified you as a POI, it had to be within 40 feet. So I think you can start a quick shot further out than that, but I don't think it's going to be able to recognize you as a point of interest as easily when you're further out. So I think the closer that you can be to your subject, whether that's you or somebody else, the better off you're going to be with quick shots. So then the Helix, what the issue we saw with that is when you chose one of those, like the 120-foot one, it would get out there about I think I saw it about 70 feet and it lost the point of interest, which was okay. It still continued its helix, but it didn't keep you in the center of the frame, which is kind of the whole point of the thing. And so, you know, that, I mean, it works, but it isn't 100% of what you would hope it would be. And then, so just experimenting around, we tried it even closer in, and I think that last one, we initiated it at 40 feet, and even at that, it struggled to keep the point of interest in the center of the frame. So, I mean, it works, and they're you know, they're usable, but I'm going to give the QuickShots on this thing probably a B- or a C. Any of us that have had other DJI drones, they work a lot better, and even some of the other, you know, I've got the Fimi X8, and for instance, even the humble little Hubsan Zeno, which is a $250 drone. When you do a circle mode with it, you can either select a point of interest, and it'll hold it pretty good, or you can use your controller as the center of the point of interest, and it has to be within 100 meters to do that, but it holds it really well. So it is a little disappointing that those modes don't work better on this drone. I don't know if that has to do with processing power or what. It's a light little drone. That is not taking away from the goodness of this guy. This is really a fun little product. I just want to explain to you that there are limitations to those QuickShots, and you need to be aware of them. So that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I really appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And we will see you on the next one. The DJI Mavic Mini, really fun, awesome little drone. See you guys later.